Good morning, world. It's a beautiful day here in Portland, and I woke up pretty inspired by the sun today, and I made a video earlier where I was talking about the sun, but I came back in, and of course somebody had left a comment. It was Brugga Jugga who left a comment and a video kind of response to my plant community that I started here on YouTube. And I was just watching the video, and he mentioned something about bees, and he was looking at these flowers and saying, well, the bees probably see it totally differently. And it brought me back to this research I'd done on how bees see, so I went back to do a little bit more, and because bees see in ultraviolet, and I've always wondered, if you ask a person, why are flowers so beautiful, and a person really thinks about it, they might say, well, so the bees are attracted to them. Well, this would be true, except for bees don't see red, but they do see in ultraviolet, which is an interesting concept to me, because it means that the red flowers, perhaps they're only many of their purpose perhaps maybe to attract birds for some of them. Maybe this is why some of the larger flowers are reddish in hues, so the birds pollinate, such as hummingbirds. But as for the bees, if you look, I'm going to put a link here to, if I can find it, to this really interesting page where they show photographs of how bees probably view flowers. And where it might appear to just be a regular yellow or a regular purple flower to us, it looks like a big bright beacon to them. And they even have ultraviolet landing strips on these flowers and points to attract the bees. It's really pretty fascinating. So if you think about it, if the flower's only purpose is to attract bees, wouldn't it be safer for the flower to remain a neutral color? Let's say white or green even, with ultraviolet markings to allow the bee to know. In other words, a flower could be completely camouflaged in green and the bee would still be able to see it. Why aren't they this way? It's because flowers aren't just for bees, and they're not just for birds. Flowers are for people. And that's kind of the point I'm making. They want us to see them. They want us to be aware of them. They want us to utilize them. And I think that nature, in its utter genius, has learned how to color code things carefully. Not only flavors, various flavors, which will tell you if something's good or bad, but the colors generally will too. For example, the color of a poison frog is obvious, but sometimes the color of a poison flower is not so obvious. So we rely on taste and smell. Like I've said before, there's very few things that look, smell, and taste good that are bad for you. They're out there, but generally nature's not trying to fool us. And nature's not trying to kill us. If it was, it wouldn't have too much of a problem doing that by just altering a few chemicals in the foods that we eat. But who knows? Maybe that's happening. But as for flowers, the link between flowers and bees, which came first, the bee or the flower? I think they basically worked in conjunction. There's some plants that are wind pollinated. They seem to know where to sprout up in windy areas. There's some that are bee pollinated. Some are pollinated by bees and birds. All flowers are awesome. Hello, flowers.